We've called this kit Legacy of the Royals for a number of reasons. The first one, a common name for anybody referring to a Royal Marine in the military is a Royal. The other word, legacy, the kit covers the legacy of the Royal Marines from 1664 up to the present date, so we thought Legacy of the Royals was a perfect title for Nico's new kit. We're very lucky to be given the artwork go ahead by Iron Maiden to use their artist to produce all the eddies on this kit. So when we got the go-ahead to go for the kit, we then needed some sort of reference for the uniforms of the Royal Marines, because we know it was going to go from 1664 up to the present day, and the resources online is absolutely vast. But I had a book in my collection, the uniforms of the Royal Marines from 1664 to the present day, by a guy called Charles C. Stadden, who is not only a military artist, but used to do sculptures for different regiments. So well-renowned, done a lot of artwork for different militaries, so we decided to use that is the main reference book for a lot of our images for Eddie. So we decided that the background for all of these drums need to be something very special and associated with the Royal Marines. So we've chosen the Commando Memorial up at Speen Bridge in Scotland. That area during World War II was used for all their training. So this Speen Bridge Memorial is now on the back of all the drums. We found a picture online that had a very sort of orange feel to it, like the sky was on fire. So we decided to go along that and use that for all the drums. Okay, so on the 6-inch tom, we have a cross. Nico always has a cross on all his drums, and this was going to be no different. It was Keith that came up with the idea of this, and to be honest, I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't think of it myself, but Keith decided to have the cross of Remembrance, which makes perfect sense and is a homage to all the Royal Marines who've given the ultimate sacrifice in the past. So that's what's on the 6-inch tom. Next, we come to the 8-inch. Nico always has the growler. Now that we were limited to what we could do with the growler on this, but what we decided to do was give him a green beret. For any Royal Marine Commando, is the most important part of their kit. They spend weeks and weeks and weeks earning this, so it was only right that we give the growler an honorary green beret. Moving on to the 10-inch, we now have the birth of the Corps, which was the 28th of October, 1664. And they weren't known as Royal Marines then, they were known as the Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot, so that is why Eddie now has got a yellow coat. Next, on the 12-inch tom, we have a 1944 Royal Marines Commando. You'll notice his headdress is slightly different, there's no green beret there, and this is why in the Commando training now, they go back to wearing that particular headdress during training, and then once they pass out, they get given the green beret, but this image is from a 1944 Royal Marines Commando. Next up, we have the 13-inch tom, and this just happens to be my favourite image out of all the Eddies on the kit. The Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. You now see Eddie's in his red uniform and musket. The Marines were put onto ships during that time for a number of reasons. The first one, to act as boarding parties to enemy ships, and also to stop mutineers within the ship itself. So now we come to the 14-inch tom, and this is taken from the Falklands War, and this is the most common picture associated with the Royal Marines during that time, and it's called the Yomper. Now, the image is slightly different to what we get on the drum, where the guy was walking away from the camera, but to put Eddie in the picture, we decided to turn his face around so he was looking back, so we knew that was an Eddie. But that is, without doubt, one of the most popular pictures within the Royal Marines. So now we come to the 15-inch tom, and we see Eddie now in a ceremonial uniform. This was taken from 1978. We decided to change this image slightly so it replicated, it's got a sort of nod to the trooper image from the Charge of the Light Brigade. So as you can see there's a very similarity between the trooper and the 1978 Eddie from Changing the Guard in London. Here we are at the 16-inch tom, and we see Eddie as a modern-day Royal Marines Commando. Brand new weapons, new insignia, ready to serve for another 360 years. At the 18-inch floor tom, and we see Eddie dressed as a Royal Marines bugler from 2019. The reason we chose 2019 is because that's when the Royal Marines decided to take on our drums, so we thought that would be a great Eddie to go for. Another interesting fact is, if somebody's going to get turned into an Eddie, it had to be me. So that Eddie you see is me, medals, insignia. That was taken from a photograph down in Portsmouth in 2019 for the 75th anniversary D-Day. It was attended by the President of the United States and Her Majesty the Queen. So I decided, because I was getting turned into Eddie, I wanted to put something in it that meant something to me. Whenever anybody joins the Royal Marines, you get given a troop number, and that's all the people you join with, that's your troop. So my troop was 197. We were the first troop in 1997. So I decided to have that. I got the artist to put it hidden away on Eddie's second button. So when you look on there, if you look closer, you'll see 197. So that's the little Easter egg for me, my little nod to my troop and who I joined up with. So now we come to the last drum, a 24-inch bass drum. And we decided that as it's not on anywhere else in the kit, we should put the Royal Marines crest. So that is now on either side of the bass drum for all to see.